educational settings. Applying Child Development Research by Jada Robinson. Introduction to DAP. The definition of developmental appropriate practices is a philosophy that focuses on creating educational environments that supports a child's natural growth and development while considering their social and cultural context. The importance of DAP in educational settings is optimal learning, engagement, social and emotional growth, cultural responsiveness, critical thinking, future learning foundation, and adaptability. Understanding child development. So this is an overview of the three domains of child development. First, we have cognitive. So with cognitive, we have thinking and learning, which talks about developments in problem solving, memory, decision making skills. Then we have language. So this is basically the language of communication. Then we have knowledge, understanding concepts, facts, and the world around them. Next, we have social emotional, which deals with emotional regulation. So this is ability to understand and manage emotions. Then we have social learning. Social learning is more of developing relationships, cooperating and communicating with those around them. Then we have self concept, which is the foundation of self identity and self esteem. Last, we have physical. So, physical deals with gross motor skills. This is about the large movements like crawling and walking and jumping. Then we have fine motor skills, which is the small movements like grabbing at things, drooling, writing. And last but not least, we have health and growth, which deals with the overall physical health, the growth patterns, and bodily functions. Next, we have Erickson's stage of psychosocial development, which starts at infant ages all the way to 18. It deals with trust and mistrust. Then 18 months to 3 is autonomy versus shame/doubt. Then 3 to 5 deals with initiative versus guilt. And 5 through 13 deals with industry and inferiority. So I have middle schoolers. I'm a sixth grade teacher, and I deal with 11 and 12 graders. 11 and 12-year-olds, and sometimes 13-year-olds as well. So that's what I deal with. Applying DAP in current educational settings. Like I said, I'm a sixth grade teacher. I teach both science and social studies. So with science, it would be an example would be energy standards, physical science 3.1 to physical science 3.4. So we use lab experiments to explore different types of energy and their transformations. For example, students can create a simple current to understand electrical energy. So with that, we will have STEM projects. So um, we will encourage students to develop projects to solve real world problems, promote innovation and practical application of scientific knowledge. Then we'll have social studies. So it will be ancient civilization. We use role playing and civilization grades to immerse students in cultures and historics of ancient civilization. This approach makes learning more engaging and memorable for students as well. And we will have discussions and debates, so that will facilitate discussions and debates on historical events and other relevance to the issues of promoting critical thinking and communication skills as well. All right, so let's go to the physical domain. The description of physical abilities, like stated earlier, we have gross motor skills, which is the abilities involving large muscle groups such as running, jumping, and throwing. Then we have fine motor skills as well, which is the abilities involving the small muscle groups such as writing, drawing, manipulating small items. Then we have coordination, is the ability to use different parts of the body together smoothly and effectively. Then we have strength and endurance. This is the ability to extract force and sustain physical um, activity over time as well. Strategies, methods, and activities to support the physical department development. Number one would be encouraging gross motor skills by active science projects, incorporating physical activity into the science lessons, such as measuring distance and physics experiments or stimulating animal movement in biology. Then we will have outdoor activities as well, so we can utilize outdoor spaces for activities that involve running, measuring, or observing nature as well. Next, we will have enhancing fine motor skills, hand-on projects which encourage students in activities that require precision, such as building models, assimilating currents, or using the lab equipment as well. And we can also do art integration. We can incorporate drawing and crafting into science projects like illustrating biological processes or creating 3D models on molecules as well. Ways to improve coordination, it would be interactive stimulation. So using computer-based stimulations and virtual labs that require students to manipulate controls and navigate environments. Also, team sports and games. So we facilitate games that involve scientific principles such as relay race to demonstrate energy transfer. Also, building strength and endurance. So fitness challenges. So incorporating short physical challenges related to science topics such as timed activities, measuring heart rate before and after exercise. Those field trips that we love to go on. So planning field trips to places like nature reserves, scientific centers, forums, and things of that kind where students are engaged in physical activities related to the studies will help as well with the physical domain overall. All right, next we will have interactive stimulation. So correlation, we will use virtual reality or computer stimulations that involve moving objects and interacting with digital environments to understand scientific concepts. Then we will have the physical challenges, which will be strength and endurance. So design activities to combine physical extraction with scientific inquiry, such as calculating the energy, doing the different types of exercises. Application in the classroom. So this would look like incorporating movement. So activities that require physical movement to keep the students engaged and support their physical development. Then we'll have hands-on learning, which emphasize hands-on, of course, with the practical learning experiments that build fine motor skills and coordination. Promoting healthy habits would be encouraging physical fitness and overall the awareness of a healthy body through science lessons that's covering human biology and health tips. Then we'll create an active learning environment, so setting up the class in a way that allows students for movement and hands-on activities, ensuring that students have space and tools that it's needed. So, by integrating these strategies and activities as an educator, I can support the physical development of my middle school students by enhancing their overall learning experience and fostering a healthy, active lifestyle. So, now we have cognitive domain for middle school science according to Bandura. So, the Bandura's theory overview will be social cognitive theory, which deals with learning through observation, imagination, and modeling. Then we have key concepts, which is the observable learning, the replicable demonstration, and self-efficacy. And cognitive abilities would be attention, so you want to have the kids stay focusing on key details. Retention, which is remembering observe behaviors, reproduction, intimidating behaviors, motivation, and the willingness to act. Some strategies and activities would be for observational learning would be role modeling, which demonstrate experiments, peer teaching, so there will be students explaining concepts to their peers for better understanding and for also comfortability as well, I feel. Then we will have enhancing intention, so engaging content which uses video and interactive tools as well. Then we have clear instruction, so I want to highlight those key points so we can get straight to it. And then for number three, we'll have support and retention, so repetition, regular practice of concepts. Then we have visual aids such as mind maps and charts as well. Then number four, facilitating reproduction, so that is guided practice, supervised lab sessions. Then we have step-by-step models with breakdown, task, and number five, boosting motivation. So that would look like goal setting. So achievable targets with reward, self-efficiency, encouraging self-assessment, and reflection as well for students. A few example activities would be science projects. So we have conduct and present experiments, interactive stimulations, explore scientific concepts, group discussions, debates on scientific topics. Then we will have reflective journals where students can record the learning progress and feelings of their particular project or experiment or whatever it is we do in the class. Next, we have the cognitive domain according to Piaget for middle school science. So the Piaget theory overview is a theory of um, cognitive development, where children move through the four stages of cognitive development. So we had the key stages for middle schools, the concrete operational stages, which is a stage where the age range from 7 to 11 years old. So it's more of a critical thinking about concrete events in life. Then we have the formal operational stages, which is 11 and up, the abstract and hypothetical thinking. Then we have the description of the cognitive ability, which is a concrete operational stage. And this stage has those four points of logical thinking, so understanding cause and effect, conservational, so recognizing the quantity doesn't change even if the shape does. And then we have classification, so sorting objects into categories, and segregation, which is the ability to order objects by size, number, etc. Next will be the formal operational stages, which consists of the abstract thinking, the hypothetical, deductive reasoning, and the sympathetic learning. Then we have the strategies, methods, and activities for cognitive development according to Piaget, which is the concrete operational stage, which is hands-on activity, classification tasks, and logical sequencing. A few examples would be science projects. So we have concrete, building sample currents and understanding electrical flow. Then we have formal projects would be research and present on the impact of renewable energy resources. Next, we will have interactive simulations, and the concrete learning for that would be using virtual labs to manipulate variables and observe the outcome of things. Then we have the formal learning would be to stimulate the complex systems such as ecosystems and predict the outcome of the change in the environment if we was to use that particular example. Next, we will have the social domain according to Vygotsky for middle school science and social studies. So, Vygotsky theory overall overview. So, social cultural theory of cognitive development, which emphasizes the development role of social interactive and cognitive development. Then we have the key concepts, which is the zone of proximal development. So, this deals with the gap between the learner and what they can do independently and what they can do with guidance. Then we have scaffolding. So with scaffolding, we have to support giving to the learner that is tailored to their needs, and then it is gradually removed as they become more independent. Then we have social interaction, which deals with the learning that is mitigated by the language and the social interaction. Description of cognitive abilities looks like the language development, so that is critical to the cognitive development as it enables the thought and the communication. Then we deals with problem solving skills, which is enhanced through the collaborative activities and guided learning. Then we have abstract thinking, so that is developed through discussion, questioning, and exploring within the ZPD. Then we have self-regulation, which is the ability to plan, monitor, and control one's own learning progresses. Um, which is supported by social interaction as well. So next we have a few strategies, methods, and activities for cognitive development. So you'll be using the ZPD. So that is a differentiated instruction. Alright, so next we will have scaffolding. So that will be the guiding practice that offers step-by-step guidance and gradually reduce help from students so they become more independent and proficient. Then we have questioning techniques. So we ask open-minded questions and encourage deeper thinking and exploitation, and also modeling. So demonstrate the progress and problem-solving methods, and then let students try it independently. Then we'll have social interaction, which looks like the group work, which encourages students to work in groups together to discuss concepts and problem solving together. Then we have peer tutoring. So you have more knowledgeable students support their peers, fostering teaching and learning. Then we have class discussion. So we'll facilitate discussions where students share ideas and build on each other's thoughts. Some example activities will look like science projects, so ZPD. So assign projects that require collaborative effort and teacher guidance, such as building model ecosystems. We did that before. That was like one of my favorite projects. The way those students created those beautiful forests and deserts, rainforests, and things of that kind. It was amazing. I even had a student to create the ocean. So she came in with a jar. I'm sure she used water and food coloring. Then she had her little people floating on top, little animals floating at the bottom. It was so creative and cute. All right. So next, we will talk about scaffolding. So provide initial framework for a project on renewable energy, and then let students expand on it. So next, we will have interactive stimulations. So the ZPD for that will be using simulations that require students to predict outcomes and test their hypotheses with teacher support. And then we have the scaffolding, which is the guide students through initial stimulation steps and then let them experiment independently. Next, we will have group discussions and debates. So the social interaction will facilitate debates on scientific things where students must articulate and defend their positions. Then the ZPD will be provide prompts and background information to support the discussions and then encourage independent thinking. Then we'll have reflective journals. So self-regulation where students reflect independently on challenges they face or anything that they learn or strategies that they have overcome, help them overcome difficulties. Then we have social interaction, so that it will encourage students to share in their journal entries, about feedback and collaborative reflections as well. Cognitive domain, according to Skinner, for middle school science. So Skinner's theory overview. So behavioralism, so emphasizes on the role of environmental factors in influencing behavior, focusing on observative behaviors rather than internal processes. So you have the operant conditioning. It is a learning process where behavior is shaped by reinforcement, such as either rewards or punishment. So a positive reinforcement is adding a pleasant stimulus to increase a behavior, and negative reinforcement is removing an unpleasant stimulus to increase a behavior as well. So punishment will be adding an unpleasant stimulus or removing a pleasant one to decrease a behavior. Description of cognitive abilities. So behavioral responses will be learning through reinforcement and punishment to shape behavior. Then we have the reinforcement schedule. So it is patterns of reinforcement, both fixed or variable, that affects how quickly and strongly behaviors are learned. So the motivation behind it would be driven by desire to gain rewards or to avoid punishment. Strategies, methods, and activities for cognitive development, according to Skinner, is using reinforcement. So you're either going to use the positive reinforcement, which is praises, rewards, privileges for desired behaviors, such as completing assignments or participating in class. Or negative reinforcement would be removing negative consequences when students display desired behaviors, such as extra homework, exemption for excellent performances. Then we have behavior shaping, which is the incremental learning, which is to break down complex text into smaller steps and reinforce each step towards the final goal. Then we have immediate feedback, which provide immediate reinforcement or correlation to help students understand the connection between their actions and consequences. Then we have reinforcement schedules. So we have a fixed ratio, which reinforce a behavior after a set number of responses. Then we have the variable ratio, which is the reinforcements of behavior after an unpredictable number of responses. Right. Example activities would be science projects. So the reinforcement, positive reinforcement, will be award points or badges after completing a milestone on a project. Then we have instrumental learning. So break the project into steps like hypotheses, formulation, data collection, and analysis, and reinforce each step. Then we have interactive stimulations. So immediate feedback. So you use stimulations that provide instant feedback on students' actions. So you could do a virtual lab experience where students can see the immediate results of their changes. Next, we have the social emotional domain for middle school science. So description of social emotional abilities would be self-awareness, understanding one's own emotions, strengths, and limitations. Then we have self-management, so regulation of emotions, thoughts, behaviors in different situations. Then we have social awareness, which is showing empathy and understanding social norms. Then we have relationship skills, so establishing and maintaining those healthy relationships that they so adore. And then we will have responsible decision making, so making ethical constructive choices about personal and social behavior. So some strategies, methods, and activities to support social emotional development is building self-awareness. So we can use reflective journals or self-assessment tools. Then we will have enhancing self-management. So goal setting activities to help students achieve any personal or academic goals. And then we have mindfulness practices. So mindfulness exercises in the beginning and the end of the class does help regulate stress and forces just good mindfulness practices. And I'm very big on affirmations, so it is one thing that my students do all the time. So promoting social awareness in class would be collaborative projects. So assign group projects for students to work together and share responsibilities. Then we have community service projects. So involving students in science-related community services can also help, such as local environment cleanups, to help build empathy and social responsibility. Next, we will have developing those relationship skills. So peer mentoring, role playing exercises as well do help with that. Also, encouraging responsible decision making. So, scenario based discussions. So, presenting those those ethical dilemmas related to science, and facilitate discussions on potential solutions and concepts. And those things are very fun as well to do. Classroom debates, so organized debates on scientific topics that require students to consider various viewpoints and make informed decisions. Some example activities would be science projects that's related to self-awareness, so have students to reflect on their collaborations and challenges faced during a group science project. And um, relationship skills would be to encourage teamwork and collaboration with each of those students to take in specific roles and responsibilities. Last but not least would be interactive stimulation. So then we have social awareness. So using stimulations that involve ethical decision making, such as managing a virtual environment. So that helps, to highlight the impact of actions on the environment and society. Then we'll have group discussions and debates, of course, responsible decision making. So facilitate debates on specific scientific issues where students must weigh in evidence and make informed choices. So this is the conclusion summary of key points. So we had Bandura, which focuses on learning through observation and modeling. Piaget focuses on the stages of development from concrete to abstract thinking. Vygotsky, it focuses on the importance of social interaction and guided learning. In Scanner, we have shaping behavior through reinforcement and punishment. Then we have social emotional development, which deals with building self awareness, self management, social awareness, relationship skills, and decision making as well. And the importance of DAP in education is it enhances learning, so it aligns teaching with students' developmental stages. It promotes growth. It supports cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development. It engages students, so it makes learning relevant and interesting to them as well. So implementing DAP in my practice, so with cognitive development, of course, I would use role playing, hands-on activities, scaffolding, and reinforcement. So for social emotional development, I would encourage reflection, goal setting, and collaboration, and discuss on ethical issues as well. So, having a positive environment as well. So, create consistent routines, open communication, and positive reinforcement. So, using DAP, I aim to support my students' overall development and encourage an engaging classroom setting as well. And these are my references. Thank you.